For example, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed described the design of planned attacks on buildings inside the U.S. and how operatives were directed to carry them out. That is valuable information for those of us who have the responsibility to protect the American people. He told us the operatives had been instructed to ensure that the explosives went off at a high point. A point that was high enough to prevent people trapped above from escaping.
6 months prior to 9/11, a bunch of foreigners running around the top of the World Trade Center at all hours of the day and night. Just snap pictures of people standing in the window. And you know, if there wasn't a string of 1,000 impossible coincidences surrounding 9/11, this by itself should raise concern.
Does this look like an office building at all? The people with children taking pictures, holding their upper clothes in their hands, are just tourists. There are no office employees in there. The buildings are empty. There is no furniture, not even a ceiling left. Everything that was useful was cleared away well in advance prior to September 2001.
2 of those planes crashed into the World Trade Center Twin Towers. Several columns were severed, and the jet fuel ignited fires that spread over several floors. About an hour later, millions watched in shock as both towers were suddenly and rapidly destroyed, killing almost 3,000 people.
Then, a full 12 days after the event, Mayor Giuliani went on record with an estimated 6,333 victims.
Yeah, step up into the window, that way we can model the jumpers correctly into the CGI imaging. We had to make it look good on television. See, we just pretend we're taking nice pictures of people while the other people in the helicopter are doing something very, very sinister. Don't you think?
There's a great deal of question about whether or not the damage and the ultimate destruction of the buildings was caused by the airplanes, by architectural defect.
It doesn't twist, bend, slow down, break, or explode.
Could the building fall like it's shown by the mainstream media, sliding down to nowhere with zero resistance?
We never see any damage occur.
Good evening. You're watching the Artist Forum. My name is Ellie Fordyce, and I will be your host for this segment. This evening, I'm very, very happy to be up at Worldviews, which is a wonderful art exhibit and presentation that the Lower Manhattan Cultural Council has been putting on here at the World Trade Center, #1 building, World Trade Center. And I have with us tonight Mukhtar Kokash. And Mukhtar, can you tell us something about this program and your involvement with it?
Sure. This is actually an artist residency program. Artists apply to and are selected by a jury to be in residence on the 91st floor for a period of approximately 6 months. And it's a raw space. It's a shared studio experience for approximately 15 to 20 artists.
Now, the 5 dancing Israelis. These are also a very interesting thing. On 9/11, I was driving through Pennsylvania. We had been in New York City that morning, and we were coming back to Chicago. We couldn't go to Washington. And Ted Koppel came on the news about noon and said that the FBI was looking for 5 Middle Eastern men who were seen videotaping and celebrating the attack on the World Trade Center. I thought, that's interesting. That was the first time Middle Eastern had been mentioned. I told my wife, they could be Israelis. The Israelis are Middle Eastern. And lo and behold, that's what happened. The next day, it turned out these men were arrested in New Jersey. They were arrested on 9/11. And 2 of them, the 2 on the far right, are actually Mossad agents. And they're known to U.S. law enforcement as being agents of Mossad. The other 3, these 3 here, are basically sub-agents, operatives, working with. And they were arrested in New Jersey, and they